Hey everyone, Brad Palladini with Palladini Law. This is another episode of Tax Court Takeaways, where we look at a recent tax court case and see what we can learn from it. So today we are talking about the Evenhouse case. So the Evenhouses had received a notice of deficiency. A notice of deficiency, also called a NOD or a statutory notice of deficiency or an SNOD or a 90-day letter. It's got a lot of different nicknames. It is the final notice you receive after an audit, right? So once you receive this 90-day letter, you have 90 days to petition the tax court and argue about the issues. Now, if you get the 90-day letter and you don't do anything, the liability is final. And then your case moves to collections. So what happened here? Why are we talking about it? The Evenhouses had received a notice of deficiency with a $55,000 tax liability and an $11,000 penalty on top of that. Now, the notice of deficiency was sent out on May 23rd, but the Evenhouses waited 148 days to file the tax court petition. Now, if it's a 90-day letter, why did they wait 148 days to file the petition with tax court? Like many tax rules, there are always exceptions. So while the general rule is you have 90 days to petition the tax court, the exception is if you're outside the country, you have 150 days to petition the tax court. So you get an extra 60 days if you're not in the USA. In this case, the issue was the notice of deficiency was sent May 23rd. That was the same day that the Evenhouses returned to the United States. And so the tax court looked at this case and said, well, when the notice was sent, you were inside the US. And so you're not entitled to the 150-day window. You're stuck with the 90-day window. So the Evenhouses in this case lost. What does that mean for them? It means the $55,000 in penalties is due and owing. The $11,000 in penalties are due and owing. And now the case moves to collections. Now, all hope is not necessarily lost for the Evenhouses. There is a process called an Audit Reconsideration.
This son of a pulled it off!
Where potentially they could get the IRS to reconsider this result if they have new information or a new documentation that wasn't examined during the audit. But otherwise, it's going to be very difficult for them to get out of this liability. So what's the takeaway here? The takeaway is if you receive a notice of deficiency in the mail, you got to know that you have 90 days to file your tax court petition. The actual notice will say the specific deadline. Don't wait until the last day. I mean, that's a big no-no. You could have an issue getting to the post office. You could have an issue with your printer. There could be a lot of reasons that you don't get it out on that 90th day. There's really no reason to wait. So if you know you're going to appeal the case, if you know you disagree with the audit result, file the tax court petition well within those 90 days so you are not waiting until the last minute or trying to use this exception to the rule to say, hey, I have 150 days instead of 90 days. It didn't work for the Evenhouses. You really don't want to rely on it. So again, if you get a notice of deficiency in the mail, make sure you get that tax court petition out right away. If you're mailing it in, send it certified so you have proof of when it was sent. Post office loses things, tax court could misplace it. You need to have that documentation in place showing that it was filed well before the 90th day. And that is the latest episode of Tax Court Takeaways. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Otherwise, subscribe, lets us know that you like the video, and we will do more of them. Thanks.